You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. LSU football was back on the practice field on Tuesday. They took a long hiatus. They were there 2 weeks ago, 2 Thursdays ago. Practice Thursday, Friday, and then took 10 days off for spring break, and they were back at it today. And this was the first time that Brian Kelly, upon meeting with the media, discussed the addition of Denver Harris. Now, many of you are aware of who Denver Harris is. Denver Harris was a 5-star recruit when he signed with Texas A&M. If you look at his recruiting profile, it was a consensus. He was in the industry composite. He was the number 23 overall player in the country. He was the 3rd best cornerback in the country, the 6th best player in the state of Texas. On3 rated him the 22nd best player. ESPN rated him the 25th best player. Rivals the 21st best player. And 247 didn't like him very much. They rated him the 45th best player in the country. But a consensus. I mean, he is that dude. He was one of the most coveted cornerback signees of the 2022 signing class. And Texas A&M landed him because in that class they landed a bajillion 5-stars, as Nick Saban so aptly put it, because they bought their whole class. But Denver Harris was a knucklehead. And he acted up during his time in College Station and found himself running afoul of the rules and ultimately was booted. And now he's landed at LSU with a second chance. And I do understand that some people are going to look at this cross-eyed. Now, if you're an LSU fan, you're just going to see the talent. You're going to embrace him, and you're going to make all the exceptions and excuses and that you need to bring in a very talented guy to your program. Everyone outside of LSU is going to look and say all the things you would expect someone to say whenever you give a guy who's run afoul of the rules a second chance because he's a good athlete. So I fully expect there to be that division among fan bases depending on who it is you root for. But Brian Kelly today, during his media availability, talked at length about the decision to bring Denver Harris into the LSU program.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did a lot of research. This was not a decision that we just said, here's a great player. He had to fit. We felt like, we did our due diligence in terms of his background and, there's an affiliation with LSU here with the family. He had a lot of people speak on his behalf. He had a number of interviews with Coach House and myself, and we felt with the culture in which we have put together here that he would make it here because the culture is really strong. And it's proven to be that he's done well early on, and he has no choice. He has to make it.
That's an interesting way to punctuate it, to say he has no choice, he has to make it. He ain't got to make it. I mean, we've seen a lot of people with much better opportunities than Denver Harris has playing at LSU not make it, not recognize the opportunity they have in the palm of their hand and blow it. So to say he has no choice is a bit ambitious, but in some respects I understand what Brian Kelly's saying, because if Denver Harris gets booted from LSU, he's not going to get another LSU opportunity. He's not going to get one of the preeminent college football programs to take another chance on him. He'll go play at a lower level somewhere. Think Janoris Jenkins, who got run out of Florida, went and played at Jacksonville State, then went into the league. I think maybe Janoris was a 3rd-round pick, and he's played a long time in the NFL. He got on the straight and narrow. Think Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann got booted from LSU, was out of football, and then ultimately went into the draft, and we know what happened with his story. He's a great success story. So it's not that he doesn't have a choice, doesn't have an option. But in some respects, I understand what Brian Kelly is saying. It's probably Denver Harris's last opportunity to play at a major college football program if he screws up again, he's not going to get an opportunity like this again. The real question comes down to whether you're okay with second chances. And when Denver Harris signed, we talked about this a bit, but it's an opportunity to go a little deeper now that Brian Kelly has discussed it. First of all, one of the things that we've seen very clearly from Brian Kelly during his time in Baton Rouge, and it's been a short time, but he has really not taken chances on guys with character issues. That is fair to say. He has held a higher standard for the athlete that he has recruited and signed and retained at LSU. I think that is completely appropriate to say. And in some instances, we've seen guys who maybe struggled initially. Kayshon Boutte is probably the most obvious example, who had trouble with that transition, but ultimately became a great team guy. And you can debate and discuss how it ended and all that sort of stuff, but the bottom line is, from when Brian Kelly was hired and he made that comment about Kayshon saying, I know his last name, to Kayshon becoming a great team guy, getting healthy, wearing the number 7, and even though he didn't statistically put up the numbers he wanted this year, was engaged and happy for his teammates when they succeeded and all that sort of stuff, all the way to scoring the long touchdown against Georgia in the SEC championship game. Now, all the stuff, the scandal at the end or the rumors of the scandal, there's no need to recount all of that, and you can make up your own mind and believe what you want to believe. But the point is, you had a guy that had a foot out the door, came back and became a good team guy through it all. So Brian Kelly, I think, deserves the benefit of the doubt as far as his track record there. But the question of are you okay with second chances, I think, really depends on the offense. Here's what I mean. I would not want Ray Rice on my team. Do I believe he was sincere in his apology and what he has done since his incident in that elevator where he was videotaped savagely punching his then fiance, knocking her unconscious and dragging her into an elevator? Do I believe that he has taken his experience from that and tried to make a positive out of an overt negative? I do. But that costs you your opportunity to play football ever again. In my opinion, the same should have been true for Joe Mixon. He punched a female student in a restaurant in Norman, Oklahoma. It should have cost him an opportunity to play in the NFL. It didn't, and he's gone on to play in the NFL, and it's really tough for me to think anything other than that. When I think about Denver Harris, I don't think about violent physical activity. I think of a young guy doing stupid things. And notice I didn't say illegal things because speeding is illegal. Should that cost you an opportunity to play major college football? No. In some places, smoking marijuana is illegal. We all have maybe different opinions on that, but there's a lot of places where smoking marijuana is legal. And rules and regulations on that continue to lessen as it becomes more and more socially acceptable. I mean, Denver Harris was on an IG Live speeding through a parking garage. That's a reckless, stupid, immature thing to do. There are far greater crimes. Like, could you point to a young person and show him why that's a dumb thing to do and ultimately have him learn and mature and better because of it? Yes. There were rumors that Denver Harris was smoking weed in the locker room with some teammates. Was that a stupid thing to do? Absolutely. And some of you are going to say, it's illegal. Weed's illegal. Yes, in a lot of places, weed is illegal. And a lot of people still smoke weed. And a lot of places, you bend the rules. And there's medical marijuana, and there's states where it's legal, and states where it's legal with a prescription. I'm not trying to have a debate about weed. I'm not. What I do know is I think ruining people's lives over weed is stupid. That's my own opinion. And I don't care that the guy was smoking weed. It was stupid to smoke weed in the locker room, if in fact he did that. And a lot of little dumb things that he did ultimately built up so much that it cost him 7 games of his season in college. He only played 5 games. It cost a supremely talented guy his opportunity in College Station. Ultimately, he left. Now, Brian Kelly, Matt House, you take him at his word. Multiple interviews, they vetted him. He's got connections with the university and family ties and things like that. And they feel like they've got structure and culture that to build around that young guy that can help him mature, great. And he also happens to be a fantastic player at a position of need. That helps. If Denver Harris were a 2-star, I don't think he'd be at LSU right now. But I also think, from my standpoint, I like to see people succeed in life. I don't root against people in life. Do we all have like fan allegiances? Of course. Like, of course I want LSU to win and I want Alabama and Texas A&M to lose all the time. But just as a human, I want Denver Harris, the person, to have success in life. Like I want you listening or watching right now to have success in life, whatever that is you do, at your work, with your family. Like the world is full of abundance. There's no reason that everybody couldn't have success and live a bountiful, fulfilled life. And I want that for it's just a general human principle. So I would rather see Denver Harris stay on the straight and narrow, have a great college career, go to the NFL, make a lot of money, change his family's life, and be a great NFL player. Like I would love that for him. Like with Tyrann Mathieu. Look, that is the quintessential example. A young guy who was immature, who had lacked at times the discipline and focus and structure that he needed. It cost him an amazing opportunity at LSU. Damn near cost him his life. And he made it. And he is now a shining example of someone who overcame poor decisions as a young person to become an unmitigated success. Like, I want that for young people. And as far as a football player, yeah, LSU needs cornerbacks. And he's a massively talented one. He looks like the defensive backs that we're used to seeing LSU sign when they've been DBU for all these years. He looks like Patrick Peterson or Morris Claiborne or Tyrann Mathieu or name it, Eli Ricks, Derek Stingley. Name the 5-stars that LSU's churned through here that have become All-Americans, Thorpe Award winners, and gone to the NFL and played for a lot of years and made a lot of money. He looks like one of them. Awesome. Come in here for a couple years, keep your head on straight, buy into the discipline, the structure, go play football, and make a great life for yourself and your family. That's what I hope for Denver Harris. I'm okay with Brian Kelly giving this kid another shot. I'm okay with it. And I hope that he's able to take advantage of the structure set in place for him and succeed. And if he doesn't, like Brian Kelly said, it's the last chance he'll get. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.